Hi, everyone. Welcome to Rockin for God with Lisa Marie Nicole. I am your host, Lisa Marie Nicole, and I hope everybody's having a blessed day. I just want to say something real quick. I'm sorry that I missed two of the Rockin for God episodes. I was sick for a while, along with everyone else in this world that has viruses and everything going around. So I'm going to try my best not to cough too much tonight. I promise. I'm feeling a lot better. It's just that I still have the cough, which I think everybody understands that. And I just want to make a couple of announcements. Real quick, I just want to say I'm really proud that this podcast has won the 2025 Homegrown Music Awards. I just found out yesterday that this won. So I'm very proud of this show and what I've accomplished to get me this far, and also the Four Persons Network that I'm on. So I have to thank John Benko also for that. And if you'd like to be a guest on my show, just send me a message on Messenger, on Instagram, on YouTube, on anywhere you can find Lisa Marie Nicole. Send me a message if you'd like to come on the show. We talk about faith and music, and if you're in music in any way, I'd love to have you on the show to talk about that. And I have a couple other things I'm going to talk about later on, but we'll save that for the end of the show. Don't forget to stay till the end because I'm going to play my song Gates of Heaven today. I will play the video for that at the end. So right now I'm going to bring on my guest. I have a great artist coming on. She's from Canada, and her name is Carla Bonnell. Let's welcome her. Hi, Carla.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. It's good to be here with you, and congratulations on your award. I'm really pleased to hear that you got it.
Thank you. Yeah, that's my first award for 2025, so that's a blessing.
Good start to the year.
Yeah, just introduce yourself to everyone.
Well, my name's Carla Bonnell. I live in New Brunswick, Canada, which is on the East Coast, and I'm a singer-songwriter with a band now.
That's good. That's what I was going to ask you. So I know you're from Canada, and how's the weather out there right now?
Well, as you can probably see, I'm in my truck. This is where I get most of my inspiration is driving. So I just decided, well, this is about, faith and music. So I just pulled into the parking lot of the church that I attend. We're the Faith Church here in Fredericton, New Brunswick.
Oh, New Brunswick, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. So the weather's nice there?
It's a bit nippy. I find it warmer than it was this morning. This morning when I got up and I had to go do some things in town, it was minus 17. I don't know what the wind chill was, but we're in Celsius up here.
Wow.
So it was pretty cold.
Minus 17, I would say. Oh man, I can't imagine that. I mean, we had a couple of 30-degree days in Canada. I mean, in Florida, and I was freezing.
Oh yes,
can't imagine that. So, when did you start? When did you start writing music? When did you start writing? You knew you wanted to be a songwriter.
I think I started soon after I started playing guitar because as a youth, I enjoyed writing short stories. And that kind of happened in, school. They were getting me into literature and things like that. And then I discovered poetry. And then I discovered, wow, you can put that to music. Not that it was really good back then, but that's when I started just playing around with it, seeing what I could come up with.
Yeah, Sorry. Yeah, I understand. I'm exactly like you are. I started with poetry when I was a young kid, and then I decided that I took some of my poems and I made them into songs. And I think a lot of artists start out like that.
I think so too. Yeah. And it's whether you do it professionally or you're just doing it because you want to, it is such a blessing. And you never know what's going to be inspirational coming from God that's going to teach you and it's going to hold you. It's quite an amazing experience, honestly.
It is, especially like you said, if you know the inspiration comes from God, then it's like a journey. and it's like, wonder what he's going to give me next, and how, he could reach many people with poetry and music that way. And
Absolutely.
so do you sing in church, or do you sing in you? I know you said you're at your church. Do you sing in church at all, or you could perform?
No, I just sing. I sing in the congregation. We have a wonderful worship team here, led by Kim White, and they don't need me. It's beautiful. I don't do a whole lot of gospel around the area anymore. My first CD I did in Nashville, and I think they called it Inspirational, which was more leaning towards Christianity, but at the same time was, understandable enough for those who weren't Christians, that just wanted to be uplifted. So I haven't done a lot, because a lot of where I used to do music in the churches, a lot of them were small, and they've closed down over the last 10 years or so.
Wow, that's a shame.
It
I was gonna ask you that. How was it in your area for Christian music, Christian artists?
It was really good. There's pockets of it, but it's very difficult now to find churches. Your guests or your listeners can look up some of the things that's gone on in Canada in the last 10 years, and they will see that there's been quite a hit on the churches throughout Canada.
Yeah, I heard a lot of stuff. That's a shame.
Yeah.
It's a shame for if you're a Christian artist too. If you just to even sing anything, gospel music or anything, to get it out there. Is it all throughout Canada, or is it just in your area?
Seems to be throughout Canada, from my understanding. It's a big country, so I can't speak for the entire country, but we have noticed that it's starting to pick up a little bit again, but you'll never get those little country churches back. They were unique,
Wow.
that you could go and like the church I grew up in, my great grandfather built it, and he used to be able to bring your horses and tie them up and go in, because there wasn't cars in those days. And they just shut that church down about 5 or 6 years ago, I think, and it broke my heart, because it was not only where we went to gather for everything in the community. It was also part of my family. But my other grandfather, who was my other great grandfather, kind of funny, because one was a Baptist and one was a Pentecostal, and their church is still going, and that's still going on in my hometown in Mento.
Well, that's good. Is that so? You're not in the town you grew up in?
No, I'm in the next city over. I'm in just outside, in a small community called Majorville, which is right outside the capital of New Brunswick, which is
okay.
Fredericton. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've been all over the place last 10, 15 years.
That's up north, New Brunswick, right? Is that north?
Yes, it's right above Maine.
Okay, yeah. Is that so? You have a lot of wildlife out there, don't you?
Oh yes. Every time you go for a gig or whatever, you just got your eyeballs have to be going all the time. We just come home from one this weekend, and the roads look good. And then suddenly, out of the blue, a deer jumped right out in front of the truck as I was driving home. So
wow,
you got to have your eyes on all the time.
Yeah, there's some beautiful wildlife in Canada. I know that. And they're like the elk. You have elk and everything up there too, right?
We do. Further up north, we have elk. We have caribou. Like elk is mostly out west.
Yeah.
In Alberta, in those areas.
Mm-hmm.
And caribou, you'll find them way up in northern Ontario, like really far up. There's a lot of caribou. But around here, it's mostly deer and moose, bear.
Moose, yeah, moose. That's right. You got the moose. That's a big animal.
Oh, they're a scary beast.
Yeah, that's funny. So basically, what genre are you in right now that you sing, that you guys are in?
I would say what we would call us right now is crossover, because there's so many elements to the way that we came together. Rick Bartlett and myself are the main songwriters at the moment. So I have an influence of folk and country and a little bit of the old style rock, like you would find in the 50s, 60s for sound. And Rick has been influenced by prog rock, the Beatles. He's played country as well, so he does know, that style of music, and it just kind of melts together into a very unique sound that we just call it. It sounds like Engage because we don't know really what to call it.
Yeah, that's the name of your band, right? Engage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to that song Guitar Strings. That's really cool. I like that. It's different. It's got a different style to it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be playing that one in a couple minutes.
Okay.
So you're in a band then, because I know who's singing on that other song?
That's Rick.
Okay, so you all sing or just you two on the band?
Mostly it's on the album. It'll just be Rick and myself for this album because we had some changes in the band happen halfway through recording the album. So it kind of put us in a kind of funny position. So we'll be the main singers on this album, and we're hoping that the bass player, whose name's Vernon, and our drummer Greg, they both sing in our gigs. So we're hoping to be able to write a couple of songs that they can actually showcase their voices too on the next album.
That's good. You have a keyboard player too?
I'm the keyboard player.
Oh, you are?
I'm also the guitar player.
Wow, that's great. I like to see how you do that. Some talent.
I've actually done that before on stage. I don't want to attempt it again though, but I think it was last year or the year before. We had just started, and I had just got out of a really, well, I don't know how, it's the grace of God. He wants me here for some reason because I was in a car accident in 2021 in February, and it'll be my 5-year anniversary of that car accident on the 21st of February, actually. And one of my first gigs, I had such a terrible concussion.
Wow.
That I lost a lot of my motor skills. Like when my brain would tell my hand to do something, I was 3 seconds behind everything musically. And I worked and I worked and I worked to finally get that back. And when I was getting close to getting it back, I actually did that on stage where I held the guitar. The guitar was over my neck. The keyboards were in front of me. So I'd play my guitar parts and then I'd switch over and do the keyboard part. I was like, I'm not doing that again.
That's funny. Yeah, that's funny. That's you could do that. Yeah, but that is hard. I understand.
Yeah.
I'm going to play your song Guitar Strings right now for everybody to hear, and we'll come back and talk about it, okay?
Sounds great.
See you in a minute.
I'm going to play my guitar tonight. Feel the steel strings roll across my fingers. Maybe write a song or two. I don't know what the hell to do. It's better than drinking you out of my hurting mind.
I love the beat to that song. I hear a little bit of Caribbean in there.
We were
It's-
probably wishing we were there.
yeah, right. Yeah, you do. That's cute. Did you guys both write that?
No, that one was actually written in 2014 when I was still living in North Bay, Ontario. So I had it in my back pocket, and it was my mom's favorite song that I'd written up to that point. And Rick heard it, and he wouldn't take no for an answer. He wanted it on this album, and I said, well, okay.
That's good.
So,
That's good that
yeah,
he
it's an
did.
older tune.
That's so where do you guys perform, the band, right now? You stay in
Right.
Canada or you go all
Yeah.
over?
Yeah, we pretty much do stay in Canada. We'd love to be able to you know, go elsewhere, go to the US, go to the UK. But it's not practical in the economic climate in Canada right now. You're lucky to get to a gig and get back again.
Yeah.
Just saying. Gas prices are high. And there's a lot of red tape to it. And you have to be very, very organized. And of course, we're a small team of people. We don't have all of the supports that you need, but we do have colleagues from Fredericton that have gone and toured in the U.S., but they don't do it too often because it's very costly for us.
Yeah. Well, it'd be costly for us to go there also. I mean,
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Well, as independent artists, it's not like we make a fortune, so.
No, that's for sure.
So, you stay local as much as you can. I mean, I got invited to go to Alabama to do a concert, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh, that will be great.
That's up north, well, it's south, but it's up north from me. So that's going to be fun. That's so, it's just take it when you can get it,
Exactly. We both live in big countries, so it's you don't have to go too far.
No, but yeah, the United States is pretty big. I mean, if you want to drive all the way across to the other, like California or something like that, that's pretty far from where I am. It's on one end to the other, But it's good. Even even local gigs are good because you don't know, especially when you do Christian music, because you don't have to fill up a whole room. You can go of 10 people and you can reach one person. If you reach one person with your music, that's how way I look at it.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because the farthest we've been so far as a band has been Nova Scotia, which is east of us.
I love Nova Scotia.
Gorgeous. Every time we get a chance to go down there, we do. And our bass player, Vernon, he still has young people living home with him, his children and, young adults now, I guess. And so he gets to take them with him when we go, things cool. Like that. So we're pretty family oriented in this band. And we had gotten a compliment just this weekend, actually. We played a couple of dances and it was a really nice compliment, and we were really happy to get this compliment. And it was that the music that we do play is uplifting, it's joyful, and it's they said that you could tell how well everybody gets along in the band. You could feel the love that we had for each other on stage emanating out to the audience. And to me, that's a big deal because as you know, like you can sing the words, you can write the songs. But when you can make that collaboration with people and you can join in and join hearts to them, no matter what it is you're singing, if it's uplifting, you make a difference in people's lives. And there's a lot of people out there that don't complain, don't say anything. They go out because they say, well, I should get out. And if you can walk away from a gig and you see smiles on their faces, like that's a moment changer for them. You've actually taken them out of their troubles for a few minutes. And to me, that's very precious.
Yes, and like you said, there's. I was in a band, and I know it's very hard to be in a band because everybody's different. Everybody has different thoughts. Everybody plays differently, sings differently. It's sometimes it's hard. It's hard to get along with everyone, and when you have that connection, that's really special.
Very.
That's great to have that in a band. So, how would you say? we're going to get off the subject for a minute. We're going to get religious a little bit. So how would you say that, God has helped you in your career along the way?
Oh, he has helped me immensely. I wasn't even going to go into music. I just did it, as a young person, like, oh yeah, I'll play with my uncle here and there, and I'll go play a kitchen party. I'll go play, at the church, and because they needed me to, mostly. And I was shy, but it just seemed like every time I turned around, God was leading me into music. And when I first started playing instrument, it was the piano, and I actually helped the organist out at church. So if she was sick, I would be the one behind the organ playing the hymns. I was asked to play funerals and weddings and things like that because of the piano skills.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like God sent me up there. And then as I kept going through, I did, like I was mentioning earlier, that inspirational CD that I did in Nashville. And that was just for my family, just so that someday when I'm not here anymore, they'll have something that they could listen to. And, if they wanted to be reminded of me, they could be, and hear my voice again. And for some reason that took off. I have no idea. It wasn't on the radio a whole lot or anything like that. It just, people heard about it and it took off. Then I got invited places and things just started step-stoning. Before I knew it, I had written some songs. I've finished writing more, and I put out a solo album.
Mm-hmm.
And I did solo for years. And then my grandparents, who raised me alongside of my mother, they were not well, and I was living in Ontario at the time. And I knew I didn't have much time with them. And I remember God gave me a kick in the stomach, like I'll never forget it. It was a kick in my stomach, and he said, you get home right now. He said, you don't have time to waste. So by faith, I took my last paycheck, put everything in my car, and drove 1,400 kilometers back to New Brunswick. And I started to try to build a life back here while I still had them. And a lot happened during that time. And then I met Rick through another colleague. And he was all about the bands because he's a lead guitar player and songwriter too. And he was all about, a band. And I was still kicking around wanting to be a solo person. And so I did get involved in the band, but I was kind of holding off. I don't want to commit. I have a problem with commitment anyway. God knows that. And I finally just said, okay, I'll commit if you guys are with me. Because I said, I don't want to spend a dime on this. I don't want to spend my time on this. If nobody wants to be cohesive, get a vision, and move ahead. Of course, that didn't work. People said they did, but they didn't really in the end because you got to put your money where your mouth is. And excuse me, we went through a couple of members. Rick and I did. And I remember this. This is the most phenomenal thing that God did. I don't have a living room in my house. I just have a bedroom and a kitchen. I have a very small space. And I was sitting on the bed, and Rick was playing his guitar because he does 2.5 hours every day doing scales and whatnot. And we found out that the the bass player that we had just went to Ontario brought home, it wasn't working out for him because he was used to being in Ontario, and everything changed back here. It wasn't the same. He decided to go back to Ontario, so we lost our bass player. And that's just after so many changes in this band. And I just looked at Rick and I said, I'm going to have a nap. I said, and I just got to have one right now. And I just had laid down my head and I just prayed silently inside myself. And all I said was, Lord, am I really supposed to be doing this? Maybe I'm not supposed to have a band at all. Maybe I'm not supposed to be into this at all. Maybe the time is done. And boom, I jumped right back up before I even nodded off. And I looked at Rick and I said, do you remember that young fella? I said, that showed up at one of our gigs in Mento. I said, and he kept coming over to the gazebo we were playing at. And then we seen him again at the grocery store, and he come and spoke to us. Rick said, yeah. I said, didn't you tell me he friend requested you a year or two ago? He said, yeah. I said, what's his name? he said, his name's Vernon Daigle. And I said, oh. I said, he plays bass. I said, go ask him right now. So he did, and Vernon joined our band. So I was like, I got my answer from the Lord right there. He said, nope, keep going. I got somebody for you. Perfect fit, because we're all very family-oriented, and he's such a hard worker. He's such a great guy. He's a practical joker, which works for me, because I like to keep things lighthearted as we're, professionally getting things together.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's helped a lot. There's so many instances that I could tell you that he just kept me going in this. And I was like, there's better people out there, more musically talented, better songwriters. Why me? He said, because there's nobody like you. He said, they can all do that. That's them. I want you to do it. And I was like, okay. And then, of course, you think, God didn't talk to me like that, and there's no way. But he does, because I'm still doing it.
Yeah, right.
Easier lives to live,
It's true. And each one of us is different.
Yes.
We all different, individuals, and we all have different talents. We all sing differently, play differently. That's why I said that in this industry, we shouldn't be in competition with each other, because every single person is blessed with a different type of talent. And I always, if you use your talent to glorify God, there's no better thing to do in this world than that. I mean, it's just, he'll bless you'll be blessed along the way. And that's what, we do.
Absolutely. Like that's one of the things that we really don't go around talking about it too much, because we just do it because it's in our heart to do it. But we do. If now it's winter time right now, and I haven't been able to get down there, but we have a nursing home in my hometown, and Rick and I, and sometimes the band, if they're available, they'll come with us, and we'll go down. We try to go down once a month. It'll get better here in the spring, and we entertain the residents there who are shut-ins and that have a lot of problems, and to see the joy on their faces that music brings, the music that they liked when they were growing up, and you get attached. Like, we just lost a few, and it was like, gosh, I don't know if I can do this, because David just passed away. He was a sweet, sweet man, and every time we sang a song, he'd holler out hallelujah. Didn't matter what song it was. And we just lost him, and his wife is adorable too. She's a sweetheart. So, God uses it, and I don't try to contrive it. I write whatever's on my heart. Sometimes I know it's totally out of my own soul, out of my own experiences. I write. And then once in a while, one will come to me that has meaning, that I know that it has more than one meaning to it, because I can take more than one meaning to it. For example, Mirage, that I'm sure you'll be playing a little bit later.
I'm playing in a couple of minutes.
Okay, yeah. And that one just poured out of me. Rick had the music. He had this music for like 2 years, 3 years maybe. And he kept asking me, do you want to put words to it? And I said, well, I've never co-written before, and I was a little bit scared to do it because I didn't want to disappoint him, if it come out yucky. And this one night we were just sitting there, and he started playing the music to it again. There was no melody line yet. He said, I'd really like to have your melody line on that, and you write the lyrics. And for some reason I just said, yeah, well, okay, here, give me a pen. And he started to play it, and it just flew right out of me. And I just smiled at him. I said, that didn't come from me. That's not mine.
Yeah.
I said, we got to honor that song. I said, that's definitely not mine.
Well, I'm going to play that song right now. So this is Mirage by, what's the name of your band again?
Engage, just like Star Trek.
Engage, Carla Bonnell and Engage.
We sail across dunes of sand, desert dry, unfamiliar lands. The compass moves us with our intention. Can you hear the wind? Is it whispering your name? Can you hear the wind? It whispers your name. Can you hear it? Can you hear? Can you hear it? Revealing the master
Settled
plan.
here where demons roam. Water scarce, hope unknown. I felt a drop of something real. The promise of I am, I feel.
Can you hear the wind? Is it whispering your name? Can you hear the wind? It whispers your name. Can you hear it? Can you hear? Can you hear it? Revealing the master plan. Safe and sound. New hope is found. Rest for another final round. Remember when time was sought? Cast a shadow, watch the clock. We all fell into time's abyss. There'll never be another time like this. Can you hear the wind? Is it whispering your name? Can you hear the wind? It whispers your name. Can you hear it? Can you hear? Can you hear it? Revealing the master plan. Revealing the master plan. Revealing the master plan.
Wow, what a great song. That's great
Thank
all
you.
around. The lyrics are great. He's got a good voice.
He does.
And the I feel like I hear like a Celtic flair in there a little bit. And I like the flute. I love the flute in there. That's great. I love that melody.
Thank you so much.
He wrote that. He wrote that song and then you just wrote the lyrics for it?
He wrote the riff. So
Yeah,
he did
okay.
he did that riff, and then he asked me to put a vocal melody line to it. So I came up with the vocal melody line and the lyrics to it.
That's great. That's great. It's a great song. I might download that. That's
Oh, thank you.
well, actually, I have it already. So, but yeah, but tell him that I don't know if he's watching this, but tell him that great job. I mean, great job and great voice. I like his voice. Yours too. But he's I never heard him before, so that's the first time I'm hearing him sing. That's good.
Well, I'm glad I got to poke at him and tell him to get back out there singing again because he just wanted to be a lead guitar player. I said, no. I like your voice.
Yeah. If you guys can go anywhere, if you as an artist or your band, I don't know if you could speak for the whole band, but if you can go anywhere, I ask everybody this question. If you can go anywhere to play, anywhere in the world, where would it be?
That sometimes changes from year to year, but I would love to actually go to Israel to play.
Oh, really?
I'd love that. Yes. I love their music. I just love it. So to be in the midst of all that, that's where I'd want to go. And as far as the band, they've always said to me they'd love to go anywhere. As long as they're
right.
playing, they'll go.
Anywhere out of Canada, right?
Yeah. Even Nova Scotia feels like a little bit different down there. So
That's great. Yeah, that I never said Israel before. Usually, I try to ask this question to everybody because everybody has a different answer. But everybody keeps saying they want to play at the Grand Ole Opry. I'm saying, come on, you got to do better than that. I mean, I know a lot of people would love that. Would be a dream for some people to perform, but anywhere in the world, and you choose the Grand Ole Opry. I mean, come on.
I know, right? It seems to be the common answer, but I think, and you probably know this too from your experience. Well, sorry. Let's see here. Got you back?
Still there? All right.
I think so. I think I just dropped myself. Can you see
No,
me?
I can
Okay,
see
there we
you.
go. Okay. So yeah, like a lot of what happens is a lot of people want to go to these venues to play,
Yeah.
but I find it's the small, quaint ones there that excite me so much, because that's where you get a truer interaction with the music, because people feel like they could come up and talk to you, and you get their stories. And as a songwriter, of course, you feed on that. You want to
Mhm.
hear their stories, so you can incorporate some of that into your music. So yeah, I think you probably have experienced that as well.
Yeah, I have. I like well, I mean, everybody would love to perform in front of a large audience, but
Oh yeah,
sometimes smaller audiences are better, and I think you connect more with smaller audiences. Not that you want to have two people at your show, but it's, but like you said, it's all venues are different, and then you have different places. Like some people perform in church, and some people perform Christian music like in a venue, in a hall or something, and there's totally different clientele with that. You got totally
absolutely,
different
yeah.
people in church than you do outside of church, so you got to like behave yourself. It's like, because I do Christian rock, so I try, but I have a lot of ballads too, so I try to mix them up. I don't want to be just all the same music all the time. But we're coming towards the end of the show, so I'm just going to ask you a couple more. Where is your favorite place to perform that you've performed at already?
Ooh, that's a good question. Ay. Boy, you put me on the spot with that.
I'm sorry.
There is a venue. Just a sec. I'm turning my vehicle on here so I don't lose power. There we go. I think one of my favorite places to perform was a small bar. It's no longer there. It was in Peterborough, Ontario, and it reminded me of New Orleans.
Wow.
What I think New Orleans would be, because I've never been there. But I was walking down the street. I was on a tour at the time with other musicians, and I wanted to get away from what we were doing and just walk around. And the door was open, and you just could walk in, and it was this little bar, and I loved playing there because everybody was just so welcoming, all the musicians, and they were talented, and everybody knew each other, but they were like, come on in, and they got me to sing, and that's one of my favorite spots, and it's sadly no longer there. I think COVID took it out. Yeah,
COVID took a lot of things out,
sure did.
and people.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother show.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's not go there. So usually, sometimes those hole in the wall places are really like the best places to perform.
They are.
People do.
They're like
Yeah.
hidden gems.
Yeah. Do you have any? You guys have any? You have an album out now. You have anything new coming out?
The full album's not out yet. We just did 2 releases that you played off this album. We're
Okay.
finishing it off now. We're hoping by the end of March it'll be on streaming platforms again. And we've already got some written for the 3rd album of Engage. So
Do you
we are
have
going
the
to,
name? What's the name of the album that's on that these 2 songs are on?
it's called There'll Never Be Another Time Like This, which is taken from the last lyric there in Mirage. And we're just adding the rest of the tracks, and they're being professionally mixed and mastered, and we're just putting some finishing touches on. So we expect a full album to be released by the end of March with those 2 songs that we put out as singles.
Okay, that's good because everybody could look forward to hearing that. And so what's next for you in music? You have anything planned?
We are going to probably put another big push out. We have a wonderful promoter in Texas. We have Sandra de La Pera. She's go by Sandra Chacon. I think I said that correctly. And she helps us out in the U.S. sector because we hope to get there someday. And we have Eric Alper up here in Canada, and he helps promote our music, get it on radio, let people know what we're up to. So we're hoping by the time this album comes out, we may be able to do a late summer, early fall short tour from maybe we're gonna try to go from Ontario to Nova Scotia. If the full band can't do it, probably Rick and I will do it as Energized, because that's the other cutesy thing that we pulled off. It's all about, Captain Picard, who I just love.
Yeah.
So we do duet a lot of stuff too.
That's great. That's great. And you guys sound good together. You harmonize well together. So I'm sure that's great when you do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So tell everybody where they can find your band, Engage, your band and the music.
We're on YouTube. We have some videos up there. Sadly, we don't have a videographer that can take better video than it's sitting on a tripod. But you can get us there at Carla and Engage. Carla Bonnell, Bonnell, and Engage. On Spotify and all streaming platforms, you pretty much have to put Engage and then the title of the album to find us, because sadly we weren't planning to keep this band. It was a project. But of course the name got branded, but there's a lot of bands out there with the name Engage. So you'll get everybody else more so than us because they've been there longer. So put the name of the album in or the name of the song, and it will bring you right to our Spotify link.
That sounds great. And your Facebook? You're on Facebook.
Yeah, you can find us under Engage Make It So for Facebook. Carla's Engage for Instagram. We're on TikTok as Engage 7 of 9. Terrible I am. And also on my professional page too, Carla Bonnell. I also post on there from time to time with what Engage is doing. And our website is engagemakeitso.com, which we have all of our links there, our music's there. So it's a one-stop shop. If you would like to go there first, it's easy access from there.
Yes, also, that's what I wanted to mention. If you're out there and any of my guests that I have on, including myself, if you would like to download any of these songs, please go to the artist's website first. Leave out Spotify and Apple and Amazon. If they have their songs for sale, we get 100% of the profits if you purchase it from the artist. So please, to support the artists out there, the indie artists, just go to the website first and see what you can buy from them, their merchandise, and check her out, check her band out, and see what they have. If you like any of the songs I played tonight, you could get it right on their website. And, follow them and see what they're up to. They're a great band, and I know Carla personally, so I know she's a good person, and my Canadian friend.
I just love it.
Yeah, so just thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it, and it worked out pretty good in your car.
It did. Sandra always tells me, she says, every time I see you, you're in your vehicle. I said, yeah, I know.
Hey, that's where you're right. No problem. And good luck with your career. Good luck with everything. And I'll be following you. I'll be talking to you online.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I really appreciate it. And good luck with what you're doing. God bless you for what you're doing for other artists. And we'll be talking again, I'm sure.
Yeah, we will. God bless you too. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Okay. Bye.
Take care. Hey everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed that show. Please go follow Carla and Engage, her band, on all streaming sites and social media. And if you like those songs that I played tonight, you can get them on all the streaming sites. And just follow them, because that way you can see if you really like this interview and you like them, then you could follow and see what they're doing. I just want to real quick make an announcement. I have I have 4 shows coming up. I have February 21st. I have Richie Mullins. He's a country artist. He will be on. February 24th, I have Andrew Dean coming on. His show was rescheduled, so he will be on. Nashville country artist. March 1st, I have Sydney Celeste. She's a Christian artist. And March 10th, I have Tim Steinruck, another Canadian boy, the mighty one. That's going to be a great show. You got to watch that one. He's got a really good rock band that I've seen in person, and he's really good. But I just want to thank you guys for sticking with me through this. I am really blessed that that this podcast has won an award for 2025. And I am entered in 3 more other contests for this year. So we'll see what happens. But I just want to talk to all the artists out there, producers, record labels, anybody. If you are an author, if you're a songwriter, anything to do with music, and you want to be on this show, you have faith in God, and you're not afraid to talk about your faith, then I want you on my show. So contact me any way you can and just let me know. Send me your bio. I need a couple of pictures, and we'll talk and we'll see when I could get you on. I am going to take a break for the month of April because I have to get my book out and my album. And I have a new album coming out called Ascending Journey that will be released sometime in April. And hopefully my book, Poetry for the Soul, will be out in April also. So I have a lot of things going on. So I'm taking the month of April off, but I will be back in May with all new shows. So keep watching, and I love you all. Thank you for watching and supporting this show throughout the years. And I am going to end this with my song and my video, Gates of Heaven, off my Windows of My Soul album. Have a good night. God bless. There was a day like any day. I got down on my knees to pray. Then I heard the angel say, when your life is done, when your time has come, your prize has been won, we will guide you home into the arms of the sun. Will the gates of heaven open for me? Will the lights be so bright that I cannot see? Will the angels guide me with Jesus beside me? Where I spend all eternity, where there is love and no sin. If I live for the Lord, I'll be welcome in. Will the gates of heaven open for me? Yet another day is past. I'm headed off to church again to show God what He is worth. Fold my hands, start to pray. Listen to what He has to say. Remember, child, you have a choice. I knew that it was God's voice. I close my eyes and say amen. The gates of heaven open for me? Will the lights be so bright that I cannot see? Will the angels guide me with Jesus beside me? Swear I'll spend all eternity where there is love and no sin. If I live for the Lord, I'll be welcome in. Will the gates of heaven open for me? To be sure, I'd be welcome in. I try to live without hatred or sin. I treat my enemy as a friend. When it comes to love, I do not pretend.
gates of heaven open for me? Will the lights be so bright that I cannot see? Will the angels guide me with Jesus beside me? It's where I spend all eternity, where there is love and no sin. If I live for the Lord,